Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that make this game and get the newest version earlier, then you can go to Patreon, $3 a month. Anyways, let's crank my face because all this moving around tends to throw it off a bit. And start. Oh yeah, on the last Let's Play, we moved through town, and what's his name? Cliff got into a confrontation with William, you know, the stoat with the coyote sheriff, and there was that really weird figurey thing behind him with the red eyes. Creepy. But anyways, after that, we got to his apartment and had a cup of tea and a dance and all good times. I've never understood the whole, or believed at least, the whole, hey, if you're feeling hot, drink hot tea because it makes your insides hot, which makes you sweat, which makes your outsides cool. I feel like that doesn't work. English people, they can be smart. In that case, not so much. Give me cold water any day. Anyways, dawn's about to break by the time we make our way to the town square. The town's still asleep. The early chirping of birds sounds above us. I don't know how these people could do stuff without coffee. I mean, I guess there is coffee. But besides that, there's no sounds but our footsteps. The air is still cool, and I kick myself, wishing I'd brought something thicker than this shirt. I mean, have fur. Cliff is walking next to me, bag of taffies in hand. Every now and then, he offers one to me, but I'm still full from the large breakfast he made me. I can see the apple tree in front of the town hall. Shivers run up my spine, memories of James from yesterday coming back to me. Right, the, Ram. Will Nick be okay if I do this? Nick. Oh yeah, Nick. Leave Echo? Probably not. Then again, Nick knows how to take care of himself. I mean, he can take care of himself, but he won't be happy. If anybody's really in trouble, it's probably me. He can't exactly do anything to Nick if I'm not even around. The Ram. Okay. Can he? Yeah, I didn't fully understand what James was talking about. I think as far as I know, James was like, yeah, don't tell Nick that we do stuff. And it's like, okay. We're getting close. I blink when the weasel's voice brings me back to reality. With any luck, they'll already be there. You wouldn't happen to be looking for us, would you? That goddamn fox. Of course, he just has to be here. This is gonna make my escape a lot more difficult. Horse. Murdoch steps out from behind the apple tree. By the long face, sorry. He is followed by the horse with a blonde mane and a cap. This is the fellow Cliff was sketching last night. He must be our guide. Heavens, you startled me. Terribly sorry, Mr. Tibbets. His muzzle splits into a toothy grin. Got extra supplies you asked for. Oh, thank you, and Clifford is fine. Anyway, Samuel. He gestures to the horse, who seems to be looking straight through me. This is Mr. Coles. Mr. Coles, this is the man I told you about. Salen takes a moment to respond. Finally, he extends a paw. Call me Jebediah. Jeb is fine too. Sam. We shake paws. His are rough to the touch. And you know Murdoch. I'm afraid I do. Quite the rogue gallery we've assembled, eh? Rogues Gallery. You coming too? Of course he is. Every expedition needs to be well documented. And what better way to document than with a camera? Murdoch shakes the camera hanging from his neck. Cliff here came to our store to buy supplies. We ended up talking while I was helping with delivery. I showed him some of my work and some of the town. He offered to hire me. I heard. Photos And some of the town definitely ain't the only thing he showed him. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, geez, I didn't see that right there. Oh, bugger. It do be like that. It's weird because... Was that there for the last Let's Play? I mean, I guess it did reset my face. Why? Do you have any objections with him coming along, Sam? Attempt to... let's not. Because that would be suspicious. Gotta play it nice for now. I can't afford them getting suspicious. Of course not. Just didn't figure you were the adventuring type. Oh, you're absolutely right. My family's business is getting paid quite handsomely. My parents insisted I go. Besides, I've heard there's all sorts of exciting scenery on the road. He's rather obviously looking at Cliff, who doesn't notice. I suppose now that introductions have been dealt with, we can be on our way. Jebediah nods his head. With a grunt, he slides his large pack over his shoulder, heading down the main street. Cliff follows, leaving Murdoch and me behind. As I get ready to go with him, the fox walks up to me, hands in his pockets. There's a curious smile tugging at his muzzle. So, Sam. You left quite suddenly yesterday. What's the matter? I had to think something to say, and fast. Could ask you the same thing. What's going on between you and Cliff? Don't dodge the question. Yeah, if I had to come with something in mind, even though I had all this time myself, I would be like... Got the vapors? I don't know. Oh, I could say that I forgot I had an appointment at that day. Because I did. Just train information, same as you did. Did he tell you? No, but I know what foxes smell like. He shakes his head. We had a chat in his apartment. One thing led to another, and another led to me on all fours. Damn. So wait. You were the bottom? It was a nice change of pace. It surprised me how easily I managed to get that out of him. Almost like he wants me to know. You're not denying it? Denying it would be a waste of both our time, and I do hate wasting time. I think it's your turn to answer my question. There's no getting out of this one. Forgot about an appointment I had. Must have been an important fellow if you left without buying anything. No comment. You could say that again. You look frightened. I was worried I'd said something to upset you. Murdoch, Sam, what's the matter? Cliff comes padding back to us. Oh, Sam and I had some matters to talk about. You can talk on the road if you like. We need to get out of town before sun rises. Very well. Well, continue this conversation some other time then. Damn, Cliff and Murdoch? Ooh, hey, in chapter 2. Though that seems worrisome. I mean, yeah, claws in this universe, fine enough. But, those seem like big claws, and I feel like those aren't regular regular anthro things. I'm not sure if there's, like, mammal. Though there are lizards in this universe. Lizard people, like, what's his name? The asshole from Echo. Oh yeah, and then there's also, the Nematode or whatever. Anyways, in the cover of darkness, Jebediah leads us through empty streets, all the way to the outskirts of town, where he's prepared a small wooden wagon. It ain't a pretty one, but it looks well maintained. So is he gonna pull the wagon? The paint on the wood's cracked, but the wheels are in good shape, and the sailcloth canopy looks like it will offer decent coverage. It could do without the smell. Ooh. It's coming from the pair of old donkeys staying in front. They seem well taken care of at least, though they don't exactly look like they're going to be much help trekking across the desert So are these anthro donkeys or are they donkey donkeys? I wonder if we're going to be okay. Judging by the look on Murdoch's face, it feels much the same. I help with the heavy lifting. Most of Cliff's gear goes on the wagon. Murdoch's brought a few crates of supplies myself. More packs of canned food than I could count, and booze. Or is this gonna be like? Usually don't watch Gumball. I should probably watch it. Amazing Invention Gumball or whatever. I can't remember. But it was, the thing was like, there's the cat's main characters, and they look at a cat in like a PetSmart thing, and the mom says, "Don't think. Best not think about it, dear." Is this all from the store? Really, you can need all this? Fortune favors the prepared, my friend. As much faith as I have in Jebediah and our group, disaster could strike at any moment, and we need booze. It's a good thing you came along, Samuel. Without a strongman such as yourself, or Murdoch on camera duty, I'd have to delay my expedition even further. Perhaps I wouldn't have been able to go at all. My sponsor would have been so disappointed. And that's the first time I've heard about a sponsor. Figured he was paying this out of pocket, rich as he probably is. So, James, I guess, but then why would James be interested in the native people? Because, like, usually when I think of United States-esque people being interested in native people, it's now what the native people are, like culture, people, customs. It's mainly what's on the land. You know? Or just committing genocide and stuff. True, I suppose I haven't told you yet, Samuel. My expenses have been paid for generously by my donor. Now, I'll be first to admit that I have a rather fortunate upbringing. I do not want for money, and I've been able to see more of the world than I could ever have dreamed of once I left for university. But expeditions like these don't come cheap. Without my sponsor, why, I wouldn't be here right now. Who's your sponsor? Cliff clears his throat with a soft hem. He does not wish to be named unless I'm speaking for him in an official capacity for diplomatic endeavors. That ain't suspicious at all. I was just thinking a moment ago I should put my thing to, what is it? Do not disturb, but then I come... But it's like, what are the chances of that happening? Case in point. It'll be money well spent. My thesis will change how I view native populations across the world. Not spending money on whores counts as money well spent. Not sure spending money on whores counts as money well spent, but I ain't complaining. Especially when this is getting me out of Echo. You really think so? Researching Meseta culture has been a dream of mine since I was but a first year. I wish I did, go for spend money on a hooker once. Now, I'm meaning in Amsterdam when I went there, so it's legal and everything's above board, Would have been an interesting thing to, talk about. I've devoured every book, every newspaper clipping I could ever hope to find, and it's all led me right here. Murdoch clears his throat. Cliff isn't the only heavy reader in our midst. Right, Jebediah? The horse, tending to one of the donkey's grunts. Seeing them next to each other is kind of uncanny, and I struggle to keep my eyes off Cliff. Now, you mean these two are the horse and donkey? The coming days have to be perfect. I cannot allow anything to go wrong. If I can't learn all there is to know about the Meseta, I might as well go home. Those are some lofty expectations. Not to say it won't be enjoyable, of course. You bring a guitar or something? I did. And he has quite a good singing voice. Oh yeah, I guess, did you bring anything for the Meseta people? So that you could, not I don't really bribe them, be like, hey, here's goods for information. Stop flattering me, Mr. Tibbets. You're too humble. It's the truth. The fox is anything but humble. I'm looking forward to hearing you sing as well, Samuel. Sing? Dancing was more than enough for me. I don't exactly have the voice of an angel. Ah, but you look like one. Murdoch laughs. I know, I shouldn't, but Cliff saying that makes my face all warm. Maybe because of how innocent it sounds coming from his mouth, his well-used mouth. Maybe because I actually enjoyed being around him last night. It's a good thing Jebediah isn't watching. I still don't know what to think of that horse. Besides, singing's about enjoying yourself. It's all about performing well. At least, that's what they told me everywhere at choir practice. He chuckles. I suppose I wasn't very good either. Jebediah steps back from the wagon, turning to Cliff. Everything's packed. We should be ready to go. Splendid. I just want to check my face. I love this music. We catch the first rays of sunlight as we pass the town gates. I don't need to see much to know there's a barren wasteland stretching out for miles in front of us. Still makes me grin just looking at it. After all this time, I'm finally leaving Echo. Hoping we might see some of the woods. Ain't been in the forest for God knows how long. The clacking of hooves makes quite a racket this early in the morning. Jebediah's in the wagon, Cliff walking by his side. Wait, what? He's a fast walker. Murdoch and I aren't even lagging behind. Isn't that the prettiest sight you ever seen? You ain't seen the sunrise before? Come on, Samuel, where's your sense of adventure? Must have lost it with the blow to the back of my head. But I can't say that. Or talk about what Hendrix said earlier. A pang of guilt hits me when I think again about what might happen to Nick if James can't stay calm about his whore leaving town. Is he gonna lose his job? Get killed? It'd all be my fucking fault. Add that to the list of terrible things I've done. I'm gonna have to live with it somehow. For all I know, Hendrix was just making empty threats. I thought he was just saying, I guess reading between the lines, it's, kind of threatening Nick, but I thought he was like, I thought it was like, don't tell Nick about what we're doing, but also, I could have also thought of it as Nick told me that, you got a blow to the back of the head. I have no idea. I'm not particularly socially wordly skilled to understand. Maybe talking will clear my mind. Leave town often? For errands and occasional spots of nature photography, yes. But not for too long. I spend enough time trying to keep up with the things at home as this. How about yourself? It strikes me that I never did learn that much about you. You're not from around Echo, are you? Originally, I mean. I can tell by your accent. Of course he fucking knows. I'm not surprised at this point. I have to shield my eyes from the sun once I look forward again. It's coloring the desert with glittering orange, and I have to agree with Murdoch. It does look beautiful. Cliff's struggling with a heavy map that's about as big as he is. He's looking back at us when a gust of desert wind blows against his face with a loud smack, knocking his glasses askew. He squeaks in surprise. Jebediah, maybe in an act of mercy, takes a map from him without question, taking a peek at it himself. I too am rather curious. Stoat slows down to join us. Bottle brush tail swaying side to side, and fixes glasses. Never heard of bottle brush. Seems I've got an audience. I ain't from around here. No, not even from the state. Southeastern side of the country, perhaps? He managed to pick that up? The Magnolia State. Okay, let's see where that is. Magnolia State. Mississippi. Something Alabama. I thought so. You did? His way of speaking clued me in. Linguistics might not necessarily be my area of expertise, but I like to pay attention. After all, languages, and how they're spoken, play a large role not only in communication, but in social and cultural identity as well. They can tell you a lot about a person's upbringing. You can tell that just by listening to them? That's a scary thought. Yes. It's rather interesting. I'd love to go over it in more detail at some point. You seem to have an accent all on your own, Cliff. I may be Bavarian, but I've lived abroad a few years now. I haven't even gone back to home to visit in half a decade. Do you still speak Bavarian? I haven't spoken it in a while. After I left the university, I never felt the need. All of my courses were in English, and most of my students spoke English as well. Well, I'd love to hear some Bavarian. What about you, Sam? Jebediah? The horse grumbles, canting his head as he looks at the map. Cliff starts stammering, his eyes darting left and right. Go ahead. At least, I'm not at the center of attention anymore. You're putting me on the spot. He's stiff as a board. I'm not asking you to recite the Declaration of Independence. Just a simple good morning will do. Alright. Guten Morgen. He mumbles it under his breath. I didn't quite catch that. Cliff knits his brow. Guten Morgen! I can't remember, is it Guten or is it Guten? I'm not sure I've ever heard someone that sounds just... some of the sounds that just left his muzzle. Hooched. He stands there for a moment, smacking his lips, as he tries to repeat it. I have officially given up learning on learning Bavarian. Cliff suppresses a laugh. Quite a shame. You're right on track. I'm a salesman, not a cunning linguist. You seem cunning enough to me. Like how you seduced me. On all fours. Ah, but we're talking about Sam. Shit. There we were. Language lessons will have to wait. There's one thing in particular I'm curious about. Such as? How'd you end up working in a brothel of all places? You're not exactly, you know, Cliff. Murdoch leans in, lowering to a whisper. Jebediah is right there. Cliff's eyes shoot wide open. Doesn't seem like Jeb notices, though. Well, I'm not sure Jeb has no problem with that sort of thing. I'm sure Jeb has no problem with that sort of thing. What sort of thing? Don't concern yourself with her prattle. I was only curious. It's a little surprising, is all. Heard that before. Just looking at me, you wouldn't expect me to be the whore type. A short summary will do. Not much to say, really. I came here for the gold, same as everybody else. Wasn't too good at the mine work, though. So that dream ended right quick. Cliff nods urgently, little ears twitching. And then what happened? I catch Jebediah turning to us, map in hand. He's probably wondering why we slowed down to a crawl. All eyes are on me. Dora found me while I was doing some odd jobs. Said she could help if I was willing to put in some work. I gritted my teeth, my cheeks burning. Just this day, and then it'll be over. I was expecting something a bit more exciting. You don't know the half of it. I should have guessed you worked in the mines in the past. Your build says it all. I sheepishly shrugged my shoulders, just for a few weeks. And I'm not sure I'd ever go back, even if I got offered all the gold in the world. Right, because of the devils in the mines. Still, this fellow's already picturing you in the miner's uniform, Sam. I most certainly am not. He definitely is. Jeb leans forward in his wagon, looking over at us. I hate to break up this conversation, we're gonna have to get a move on. I think that's one of the first full sentences I've heard him say on this expedition so far. We want to be somewhere shady by noon, and we ain't gonna get anywhere at this rate. You don't want to end up dying of heat stroke before we've reached the first stop, first rest stop. And remember, your flask ain't for leisurely sipping. Ration your water. We ain't gonna find clear drinking water for quite a while. Murdoch's about to drink quickly, stows his flask again. And so we keep walking. I feel like since it's a little bit of a scene change, and we're kind of getting close to the 30-minute mark, we might want to stop it, especially since I also kind of got something in a few minutes. Yeah, on the expeditions. That's the thing I don't like about doing visual novels. I don't know if there's going to be like 3 minutes from the scene to the next or more. We're just going to have to see that as it comes along. So anyways, comment, guys, comment, something you like, dislike, tips, as always. If you like me YouTube and would like to see grow, then please subscribe, and you have this happy grown. Please remember to spend your ammo to help control the bit population. And if you want to play this game, free on it, ciao. And if you want to spread that, make this game and or get the newest version earlier, go to their Patreon, $3 a month. And until next time, play me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room, Cliff's Root. So thanks and see ya.